Good day everyone, welcome to Math with Teacher Justin. On today's topic, we're going to identify the properties of a quadrilateral and parallelograms. Alright. Okay, let's talk about quadrilaterals. A quadrilateral has four sides. It is two-dimensional, closed, and has straight sides. Here are some examples of quadrilaterals, as long as they have four sides and it is a two-dimensional figure. Okay, now let's talk about their properties. So, a quadrilateral has four sides and four vertices. The sum of their interior angle is 360 degrees. And it has two diagonals and two triangles formed by their diagonals. Okay, another type of quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Now, a parallelogram is a polygon with opposite sides parallel and equal in length. So here is an example of a parallelogram. Now, here are some properties of a parallelogram. Opposite sides are parallel. So we can say that side AD is parallel to side BC and side AB is parallel to side DC. Another property is opposite sides are congruent, knowing that side AD is congruent to side BC and side AB is congruent to side DC. Alright, now let's proceed to another property. Opposite angles are congruent. So we can say that angle D is congruent to angle B and angle A is congruent to angle C. Now, speaking of angles, we can also say that consecutive angles are supplementary. So angle A plus angle B will be equal to 180 degrees. Angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees. As long as they are consecutive angles, they will be supplementary. Alright. Next, each diagonal of a parallelogram divides the parallelogram into two congruent triangles. So we can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle CDA. Okay, and speaking of diagonals, the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. So we can say that in this example, segment AE is congruent to segment CE and segment BE is congruent to segment DE. Now let's have some examples in solving parts of a parallelogram by finding the values of x and y in this quadrilateral that is also a parallelogram. So in this case, let's solve for the value of x. Knowing that this is a parallelogram, we can say that consecutive angles are supplementary. Knowing that we're given the value of angle C, we can say that if we add angle A and angle C, it will be equal to 180 degrees. Now let's substitute their value. We will have x plus 46 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Then let's solve for the value of x by subtracting both sides by 46. And then simplifying that, we will have x is equal to 134 degrees. Now, let's solve for the value of y. Again, knowing that our figure is a parallelogram, we can say that opposite angles are congruent. We can say that angle R is congruent to angle C. And since they are congruent to each other, they will share the same measurement. So, y will be equal to 46 degrees. Alright. Okay, let's have another example. So for example, we're given this parallelogram and we're going to solve for the values of x and y. Now, let's solve for the value of x first. Now, using the properties of parallelogram, opposite sides are congruent. We can say that side PM is congruent to side RO. Now, we can substitute the value of their measurement. We have 10x minus 5 is equal to 7x plus 16. Now let's transfer all variable term on the left side and all the constant term on the right side. We will have 10x minus 7x is equal to 16 plus 5. So applying the addition property and subtraction property. So we will have 3x is equal to 21. Now let's simplify by dividing both sides by 3. We will have x is equal to 7. Okay, now let's solve for the value of y. Now, in solving for the value of y, we're still going to use that opposite side are congruent. So, we can say that side PR is congruent to side MO. Okay, let's substitute our given. We have 5y minus 10 is equal to 4y plus 8. Now, let's transfer all the variable term in the left side and all the constant term on the right side by applying the addition property and subtraction property. Now, we will have 5y minus 4y is equal to 8 plus 10. Now, simplifying this, we will have y is equal to 18, and that will be the value of y. Alright, okay, let's have our last example for today. So for example, we're given this parallelogram and we're going to solve for the value of x and y. Now, let's start with solving for the value of x. Looking at our parallelogram, we're given the diagonals of our parallelogram. Now, we can use the property that the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Therefore, our diagonal will be divided into two congruent parts. So we can say that segment WA is congruent to segment RA. Now, using this information or property, we can substitute the given values of segment WA and segment RA. By substituting, we will have 6x minus 17 is equal to 37. Now, solving for the value of x by adding both sides by 17. Then simplifying, we will have 6x is equal to 54. Then divide both sides by 6, we will have x is equal to 6. Let's solve for the value of y. Knowing that we still have the diagonals, we will still use the property the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. So we can say that segment GA is congruent to segment EA. Now, using this information, we can apply substitution. We will have 3y plus 25 is equal to 5y minus 13. Now, let's transfer all variable term on the left side and all the constant term on the right side by applying addition and subtraction property of equality. So we will have 3y minus 5y is equal to negative 13 minus 25. So let's combine like terms. We will have negative 2y is equal to negative 28. Now divide both sides by negative 2. We will have the value of y, which is equal to 14. Alright.
Now that you already know the properties of quadrilaterals and parallelograms and how to solve problems involving quadrilaterals and parallelograms, it is your turn to try it. Please click the link in our description box below in order for you to test your skills. That's it for today. Again, I'm Teacher Justin. Goodbye, God bless, and stay safe. And see you on my next video.